Hey guys, what's going on? mcoc here, and today we're going to be talking about how to maximize future Ant-Man's power control. I call it the ultimate lockdown, you guys can call it whatever you want. If you find this video useful, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you aren't already. But before we start, there's a couple of things we need to cover. This is not going to be a breakdown of all of Ant-Man's abilities. I've done this in a separate video. So instead, I am going to assume that you guys know certain things. I'm going to assume that you guys know how Ant-Man's kit functions and what effects are tied to which attacks and abilities. I'm also going to assume that you guys know basic power management, when to throw a special, when not to throw a special, and knowing how nodes and abilities affect opponent power. If any of the assumed knowledge is stuff you do not know, I suggest checking out this video I made. I will have it in the description as well as the pinned comment of this video. Some of the terminology used in this video I'm going to explain now because I'm not going to assume you guys know it. Block baiting is the act of holding block to encourage the AI to throw heavies and discourage the AI from throwing special attacks. Next up, we have flow disruptors, and these are nodes and abilities that disrupt the flow of the fight and can potentially hinder your control over the fight. The examples shown in this video will be Hazard Shift and Conflictor. Now you might find yourself wondering, when do you apply this? If the opponent has an annoying or deadly ability tied to their special attack from their base kit or incoming nodes, this is a good time to use it because you're going to prevent them from ever accessing that ability. You can also apply this when you want to control the rhythm of the fight, meaning you want the flow of the fight to be solely in your hands, and it's not always going to be a faster way to play future Ant-Man, but it's always going to be a safer one, and you're always going to be in full control of the opponent if they play into you. If you caught on to that if, good job. We have some disclaimers. Despite having an AI modifier in his kit which comes from Surging Swarm, the AI is still unpredictable at times, and being a fraction of a second too slow or the spacing being slightly off could result in the opponent throwing a special. I found this playstyle to be reliable, but it's never fully guaranteed solely due to the AI. So starting with our first example, this is going to be a basic fight with no external nodes coming in. When ramping, I like to use intercepts because future Ant-Man's light reach is very good, and the opponent usually plays into you with these light intercepts, like you see here. Now that we have Surging Swarm active, the opponent is going to be more aggressive. See how we're blocking here while Havoc is recovering from the hit animation? That means you timed your block perfectly. That timing of the block is very important because it tricks the AI into thinking they cannot throw a special at you. If you block and they're recovering, that means the only thing they can do to get closer is to walk up to you or dash at you. And when they dash at you, because they're more aggressive from Surging Swarm, they're more likely to try to use a heavy attack to break your block. So now we drop our special one to Power Drain. See how we are blocking and Havoc is still on the ground? That means the timing of your block here is perfect because Havoc is going to dash at you. You could just reparry, and then you could just try to bait heavies again. And then once we drop the special 2, the fight is pretty much over with. So that was a fight with absolutely no complexity whatsoever. So our next example is going to be a flow disruptor, and that is Hazard Shift, Incinerate, and Shock. Just a friendly reminder, future Ant-Man's signature ability basically allows him to ignore Incinerate debuffs from Hazard Shift. So we're going to be trying to intercept here to ramp up our armor ups. You guys are going to see pretty quickly here that I make a mistake. I use a 4th light attack, which means it's a combo ender. That means we are still in a recovery animation while Baron Zemo is attacking us, and he could have thrown his special attack. So rewinding a bit here, we got lucky because he decided to throw a basic attack, but that's just something you need to look out for. You never finish combos while doing this method. Next up, the shock phase is active, meaning this is one phase where you can't go guns blazing and attack the opponent like you normally do. So what we're going to do now is do a single medium attack, then hold block to bait a heavy attack, and repeat this process. This will prevent us from getting cornered, which is very important for fight spacing on the map because you don't want to get cornered against Baron Zemo. The Incinerate phase is back up, meaning it's safe to hit Baron Zemo, and now we find ourselves with a power management decision to make. The passive power detonation timer is full, meaning we have to get that down to drain his power. He's also at under 2 bars of power, and we are above 2 bars of power. So in this scenario, I feel safe to not use my special 1 to power control here. We are going to rely on the passive power detonation to trigger and drain his power, and that will allow us to throw a special 2 right here, and we will deal some massive damage. So one thing I do want to note, this is high tier Alliance War, so I am using power back boosts. These are not needed by any means, and you would follow the same process where we slow play during the shock phase and then nuke during the incinerate phase. But since I have these boosts active, it allowed me to finish the fight faster. Our last example, number 3, this is another flow disruptor, and this is power gain through Conflictor, which is a purification of a debuff which leads to a massive power gain on the opponent. A couple things to note here, there's also combat deja vu prowess, and there's also prowess puncture. So if I do the same basic attack twice, he gains a prowess, but he also gains a block pen charge, which means he's going to be doing a lot of damage through my block. That's why I'm playing a little bit weird here, and I'm trying to find my flow using like light intercepts, trying to get hits on him, but I'm also not landing them. You'll find at a certain point that I find my rhythm and I just ignore it. In a few seconds, we're going to have a very important power management decision to make here. Our power detonation is about to expire, which means that will inflict Bishop with a disintegration debuff, and that will give Conflictor something to purify. That means he'll be gaining a bunch of power. He's already almost near 2 bars of power. So if he gets Conflictor going, that means we're going to be working overtime trying to control his power. We're over 2 bars of power. So we are going to end a combo with a 4th light attack, disable our special 2, and drop a special 1 to power control him and get him off of that special 3. Due to the way we timed everything, we allowed ourselves to get 1 disintegration debuff to stick. This is important because the special 2 is amplified by each disintegration debuff on the opponent. Right here we make a mistake because we don't block bait. So Bishop could have thrown that special 2 if he wanted to. I also make a mistake because I get hit here, but he throws a heavy attack and we finish the fight out with just some basic hits. So those are 2 really annoying Alliance War fights, soloed with no specials thrown by the opponent. If you've made it this far, comment down below and say lockdown. This lets me know you made it to the end and you watched the whole video. And if you have anything else to say, let me know. If you guys enjoyed the video, consider hitting like, subscribing if you're new. If you already subscribed, you know I love you. See you guys for the next video or stream. Peace out.